A warm welcome, everybody. Give me love. Give me peace on earth. Great George Harrison song. I was inspired to learn this. I was reading Guitar World News and so forth, and they had a little article on, quote, how to play this, and I was just like, gosh, I forgot all about that song. So shame on me for that, but here we are. I really watched George live. There's really a good video of him playing this, and he plays it straight up. You can watch the tribute to George. They don't quite do some things the same. Clapton just plays a C chord and so forth. So I want to talk about the things that I think George does that makes this unique. So we're in standard tuning, but we're capoed at the 3rd fret. All right, so I will speak to the capo as 0. So if I say D, it's really an F, but you get it. So the song starts out with a D sus2 hammered into a D. Oh, before I go any further, my notes will be available right below the video. So click on that. I've written this out. I went ahead with the tab and put the words with it. I found a pretty good tab of it, and I just made it my own. So with that said, we start out with a D sus2 into a D. So he's doing down, down, up, down, up, down. And then we do another D sus2 to D. I'm sorry. Then we move into what I would consider the main chord structure of the song. So we're going to do a D with our down, down, then up, down, up, down. Then we move to a D major 7. Beautiful chord. It's played on the 3rd fret of the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st string. And then we move to an E minor, then to an A, and then he goes out of the key actually, and he adds this G minor. So we'll be at the 3rd fret from the capo, and then back to A. Now what I noticed George does, and I think it really does add, especially to the recording, a C chord, but he adds the G bass. So this is great practice for getting your C chord with the G and the bass. All right? And then to a G. Now in the intro, he does the G for a full measure. It's kind of like leading us into the actual vocals. So it's the only time we do the G for, quote, twice as long. And then we're into the vocals. Goes around. So that is really the major part of the song. So he goes through that chord structure twice, and then I guess this would be the bridge into the actual chorus, where he's singing give me love, or yeah, give me love, give me love, give me peace on earth. But there's a couple guitars going, obviously. So if you want to play the main guitar, it's a D. We're going to add a sus4, take it back off to a D, and then a sus2. And we're going to do the same thing with the D major 7. But that doesn't sound right because you got to lift off. So what I do, I play an A chord with my 3rd string 1st finger. My fat fingers just fit that way better. So I took that to the D major 7th. So I've got all 3 fingers, middle finger on the 3rd, first finger on the second string and third finger on the first string. And then I got my pinky to use and lift off the ring. Alright, and then we move to a D minor. And then he goes to a G7. So basically a G7 is the first string, first fret, and your 5th and 6th string are normal. Alright, and then he goes through it again. I apologize, my phone went off of my noon alarm to take my med. Okay, so after we go to the G7 the second time, and he does that the second time, he doesn't go to a G. I notice in the tribute they go to a G, but in the recording it's definitely a G7. And then he goes to an E minor 7th. So it's like playing an E, but keep your ring finger off. So our 4th string is open. And then he does something a little different. He does an A7. So we leave that 3rd string open. Alright, and then he adds it when they hit it 1, 2, 3, 4, da 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 da. So you'll have this. Let me take it from the D to the D major 7, D minor, and G, so forth. Back into the normal verse. Alright, so really that is the whole structure of the song. And I found the timing of the A to be really awkward. So you really got to focus. Once he starts hitting that A 4 times, there's another 4 count, but it's not 4 direct beats. Then he starts in. So that was, to me, the most, and not hardest, but the awkward part to learn of this song. But once I got it down, it all made sense. So then we're into another verse, and then there's the actual slide guitar solo, which we'll go over all the slide after this. So during the slide solo, he comes in basically with the intro again. All right, and we go all through the chords, okay? And then he ends up, with the and then into the chorus. So that again covers the solo guitar, just basic chords that we've done up to this point. The outro is the same. We just repeat the verse chords, D major 7th, all right, with the suspended. Does it twice, and that ends the song. So again, I've written this out. That'll really help, especially playing it with him. You can pull the live version or the studio. He does it true to each. So we'll go over the slide next. It's not real difficult. It's in open E. It's just a little bit of technique, and it's harmonized. So we'll talk about the main guitar. I didn't figure out the harmonization notes. So for the slide part of this song, there's an intro slide, there's a solo, and then there's an outro part. I'm in open E tuning. I'm playing through amplitude. I dialed up 2 amps, a Vibro King, and a Super. And the Super, I have a little bit of reverb, but I'm going mainly through the Vibro King with a harmonizer, just so we can get more of the true tone. If you don't have a harmonizer, no big deal. Use a chorus pedal. That'll sound nice with a slight chorus. But these are really the main notes for the solo. So let's start out with the intro. Starting out on the first string, we're going to slide from the 8th fret up to 13. Then we come back to 12. Then we slide up to 18. It's a real, you almost catch a slide at the end of it. And then you're going to catch the second string, 15 to 14. All right, so we have this. After 12 is ringing out, you just catch 18 on your way up, and then come to 15 on the second string, back to 14. See, it's almost like hitting it and then sliding down from 18 on the first string, and then catching 14 on the second, 15 on the second, and then 13. Now this part I think is just echoed, but you'll hear it. You can play with it because it's fine. We're going to go up from 11, okay, to 14. You'll hear it again. And then he goes from 14 up to 17. So you'll hear both of those. Then just move back to 16. And then the last lick is 14 on the third to 14 on the third to 16 on the third. And these are just really hit notes. And then grab 16 on the second string and slide to 10 and then up to 11. All right, so you have... So the whole thing slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the intro slide. It's really beautiful. Like I said, with the harmonizer, it adds a little something to it. All right, the solo should sound like this. Okay, so what we're doing is we're going to start out second string, hitting 14 3 times before we slide back to 13 and then hit 11. Then we come back to 10 and we'll slide that up to 13 and hit 13 again. And then what we're going to do is go to the third string, slide up to 20, then to 17 and 13. All right, and then we're going to hit 13 on the second string right below it, and then come up on the first string sliding to 17, and then the second string 17 to 13. All the way back to 10. Hold that note, and then you'll hear him come back with 13 twice on the second string up to 17. And then he'll catch 20 on the third string, back to 17, and then back to 13, and then eventually 14. And then the last little lick to end this off will be on the second string, 14, 13, 11. It's just a slide down with a slight pause over each note. And then we're going to slide on the second string up to 20, and then 17 and 15. And that ends the solo. So the outro solo, I think was edited out, parts of it. I think it goes on, but there's a part of it, especially the very end of it, that just feels different. So we'll go over that, and then I'll show you what we're doing. So that ending, like I said, just feels odd. But again, it's what's recording. So we're going to slide into the second string at 14, hit it 2 more times before sliding back to 13 and 11. Then we come up to the third string, slide into 13, hit 13 on the second, back to 13 on the third, 13 on the second. Then we slide up from there to the third string, 20, 17, 13. Then we start on the second string, 13 back to third string, 13 back to second string at 13. Then we slide up to 20 on the second string to 17, 13. Again, back into 13 on the third, second on the 13, third string, 13 back to second at 13. And then we go all the way up to 21, or 22, I'm sorry, and then slide from 21 to 20. And then quickly move to 15 to 14 and 12 on the third. Just, like I said, it feels cut off or edited, but that's what we got. My notes are available down below with all these slides and so forth. So I really hope this helps everybody. Just a beautiful song. God rest his soul, and thank you for the music. Enjoy.